guitar fills is a great way to add excitement and flavor to a song. And using two-note chord fragments known as double stops is a classic technique that works across many musical genres. Today we're going to go over a simple way to map out double stops across the fretboard and some great licks you can add to your playing right away. My name is Jack Ruch. Welcome to my channel. Let's get into it. Alright, before we get started, I just wanted to announce that I'm actually selling this guitar, and I thought I would share it here first to all my subscribers in case any of you are interested in purchasing this. It's a very clean 1968 ES335, all original, although it has been set up and refretted by the folks down at Grun's Guitars. And this guitar plays exceptionally well. It's extremely clean. So email me if you're interested. I will put my email down in the description if you want more details about this guitar. So a double stop is when you play two notes at the same time. And oftentimes you'll hear them referred to as thirds or sixths. All this means is you're playing two notes separated by either 3 scale degrees or 6 scale degrees, or whatever interval you want to use. So if I play an E note right here and then go up 3 scale degrees, 1, 2, 3, up to G sharp, and play those two notes together, I get a third. If I go up 6 scale degrees, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and play C sharp, I get a sixth. And I can do this with any interval from the scale. I can do second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh, and then the octave. Now you can move these two-note patterns up through the scale to create melodies. If I play my thirds up through the E major scale, I get this sound. And I can do the same thing with my sixths. Now you might be wondering how to find these shapes, and the key to that is to learn your diatonic triads. Now a triad is a simple 3-note chord, and diatonic just means all of the chords that fit within a certain key. So in the key of E major, those chords are E major, F sharp minor, G sharp minor, A major, B major, C sharp minor, D sharp diminished, and then back to E major. And you can play these triad shapes all over the fretboard. Now, if you're interested in getting deeper into learning your triads everywhere on the fretboard, I have a course. The link is down in the description. I did it with my friend Brett Papa, and it goes way into detail on how to map out triads all over the fretboard. So playing the diatonic triads is just a way of harmonizing the E major scale. And today for this lesson, we're going to look at two different patterns. One is going to start with this open position E down here on the top 3 strings. And the second one is going to start around this D shape also on the top 3 strings. So first I'll play through the first set of triads, and I'll put the chord names up on the screen. And as always, the tabs for all these examples that I'm playing today are going to be available over on my Patreon page. Alright, so now this next set of diatonic triads, this is going to start with this D shape for E on the 4th and 5th fret, and then move up through all the chords. Again, I'll put the chord names on the screen, and then we'll get into breaking these apart to find our double stops. So now that we know these triad shapes, we can use them to find our double stops. And all we have to do is break them up into 2-string groupings. If we take these triad shapes right here, all we have to do is play the top 2 strings to find our thirds. And if we play the bottom 2 strings, we get our fourths. And if we play the outer 2 strings, we get our sixths. So these are all great tools we can use to come up with fills, right? We can play all these nice things like right, just taking these little two-note shapes and moving them around to follow the chords we're playing over. So we can do the same thing with this lower set of triads, right? These shapes right here. If we take the top two strings for these, we get the fourths on top. And if we play the bottom two strings in this shape, we get the thirds. And the outer two strings again gives us our sixths. So we can take all this stuff and come up with some really great little fills to add to chords that fit within the key of E major, right? Right, and by putting different chords that are diatonic to the key underneath of it, we can come up with some really beautiful things. So now I'm going to play along to a simple backing track that's just going to toggle between E major, C sharp minor, and A major, all chords that fit within the key of E major. And I'm going to use these double stops from these diatonic triad shapes to come up with some great fills and lines. I'll play through the track a couple of times, and again, all the tabs for these examples are available on my Patreon page. So hopefully you dig the sound of these double stops and you get a little background on how to find them and track them down on the fretboard by using your triad shapes. Again, if you want the tabs to these examples, I'm going to post them over on my Patreon page this week, so go check that out. As always, I want to thank you guys for watching. Until next time, take care and happy practicing.